As you've seen throughout this course, components are living and breathing things in a design process. It's very rarely kind of a set it and forget it, create all the components once, and then you're good to go throughout the whole project. I'm always coming back and adding new variants, making small tweaks, and things like that to make my components work for me perfectly throughout a project. So in this case, I really want to add an icon variant to our button component so that we can kind of add some visual interest and clarity to these sorting buttons here. I want to have like a calendar icon here, a little credit card icon here, maybe like a star icon here. We have those icons designed, but we don't have a variant that we can turn on for these buttons to actually turn that on. So I'm going to show you how to do this using Boolean properties, which actually makes this super easy, and it allows you to toggle an icon on and off on any button component. So here's how we do that. We're going to navigate to the main component. And if at any time you don't know where your main component is, like if you have a really big project file and you have different pages over here with different types of components, you might not be able to just easily navigate to it. So I just want to show you a trick. If you control click on any instance of a component, then you can look here and find main component, go to main component. So that is just kind of a cool trick that might come in handy. Okay, so for this button component, what we're going to do is add one of these icons. So I'm just going to pick the star. I'm going to do Command C. I'm going to double click in here so that I'm adding it right next to the text. And I've just hit the Command V button to paste that in. We're going to make this off-white so we can see it. We're going to make this a little bigger. This is really big, so I'm going to make it 16 by 16. That's looking good. And I'm just going to click and drag it to actually be before this text here. Okay, cool. So you might be thinking, doesn't this just add an icon to every single button instance that we have in our designs? And so far, yes, but this is where Boolean groups comes in. So I'm going to click and select just on the icon, and I'm actually going to come over to where it says layer, and we have our visibility properties here. And I'm going to click on create Boolean property. It's this kind of like diamond with an arrow going into it. I'm going to click that. And what we're creating essentially is a true false property. And this way, Figma will give us a switch to be able to switch the icon off and on. So you'll see what I mean. So show icon true. I think that works for this. So we're going to create that. And then what we're going to do is grab an instance of this component. And see how over here, it's given us a new property and it's a toggle, like it's a switch. So I can literally just turn it off and on, and it's just toggling the visibility of the component or the element inside the component that we've targeted. So you can do this for anything, but for now, we're going to do it with this icon here. So basically this allows us to, instead of creating 4 new variants, like button black with icon, button black without icon, it's allowing us to just add the icon to this main component and be able to switch it off and on. So I'm just going to copy and paste this into each one. We'll make this off black, make this off black. So because we have created that show icon Boolean property on this one and then copied and pasted, it's automatically, as you can see, show icon, it's automatically added it to these as well. So now we're good to go. And the only thing, since we did this a little later in the game, we didn't do this the first time we set up the component, and we've already used instances of the component. The only tricky thing is we do have to go into each instance and toggle it off. So it's not the end of the world. We can do that really easily. So I'm just going to go into this button, toggle it off, double click into the button, toggle it off. Just going to continue doing that. Okay, we need to do that on all of these. So we can actually do it on more than one at once, which is really nice. Now these, we'll keep it on because we want to actually add different icons to those. We don't need it on that one. And okay, that's about it. Oh, we don't want it on the sale one, but I'm going to do that on this component, so I only have to do it once. So now what we can do is go into these. Now I'm going to group these together in a frame and turn on auto layout. So this way we can have 12 pixels between them and just kind of control that super easily. Now, all I need to do to change this is click in to this component, and we're going to change it from star to calendar. And we'll change this one from star to credit card. So now we've run into something else that we want to fix. And I have done this on purpose to show you guys because this is something that will happen to you and you might need to fix it. See how this is being cut off? So the reason is because it's not scaling. So I'm going to go into that icon over here in our main component. And so let's look at the other ones. This calendar one here, see how under constraints it says scale, scale? On this one, it's not scaling. It's just centered in the middle of a frame. So we're going to switch both of these to scale. And then if we go back to the instance of our component, you can see it has scaled properly now. So that is perfect. That's exactly what we want this to look like. Now let's create a new button variant so that we can create these filters over here. So I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to click on add variant. Instead of this icon here, I actually want like these bigger icons. So I'm going to copy and paste that in there. We're going to make this white so we can see it, our off-white. And we're going to call this category. Okay, and this will be the selected state. So we're going to call this type category selected. Now I know that I'm actually going to want this to work a little differently. Whenever I extend this, I actually want to pin the content to the left so that when these are all lined up, the filter can be a bit longer, but we'll have all the content aligned left. For that reason, I'm going to click on this button component, and we're going to click align left here. So this way, if I extend this, it's going to stay pinned to the left. So that's great. Now I'm going to duplicate this, and we're going to do a state that is unselected. So we're going to make the background, we'll keep it off black, but we're going to make it like a 5% opacity. So I actually have to, in order to do an opacity, I actually have to detach the style, and we'll do 5%. And then so that we can see this, we'll make these off black. Okay, and then since we copied it from here, it's going to adopt that same sort of pin left style that we want. Okay, cool. So this is looking good. I'm going to copy that and paste it over here. So let's turn back on our grid so that we can see exactly where this needs to go. So I'm going to align it with the top of here, and I'm going to align it with this column here. And then I feel like it might feel too crowded if it comes all the way out to here. So this is again one of those instances where I'm going to break the column grid a little bit. And instead of having this be 320, let's just have it be 280. Okay, cool. So we have this category here, and I am going to duplicate this And we'll do our trick again, Command D to paste that. Let's frame these together. Turn on auto layout. Can you tell we're getting like kind of repetitive here, but it's just a good habit to get into. So, okay, we'll pick one of these to be selected. Let's do the top one. And then the rest of these will be, oh, we didn't name this. It's currently named type 6, but we can go in and name this unselected. Perfect. That's just a lot more clear. So now let's turn off the columns so we can kind of see what we're doing. Okay, cool. So now let's actually name these what they are. So for this, let's make the selected one chairs, since a lot of our images here are chairs. So instead of dresser, we'll do chair. We need to make sure that we're using the right colors. And we'll call this chairs. Then I'm just going to go in and make sure we have one for each of our categories. So we have dresser here. Let's do rug, dressers. And then the cool thing about auto layout also is I can click in here and just like reorder these really easily because it's going to maintain the exact spacing that we wanted. So I'm just going to move these around a bit. I think I want sofas right after chairs, and then rugs, and then dressers, tables, outdoor. That just kind of feels right. All right, this is looking great. As I am looking at this, I want to make one small tweak. I feel like for these buttons, the 4 pixels in between the icon and the button feels good and comfortable. But since these icons are a bit bigger and the buttons are bigger in general, I think I want more space in between them. So I'm going to go up to our category filters here, and I am just going to increase this from 4 to 8. So let's go down and see if that looks, yeah, that just looks a lot more comfortable. There's just a lot more room for the content to breathe. So I really like how that's looking. Okay, so now since we have this selected on chairs, I'm thinking we can make this kind of like the chairs, page here. So let's change this to all Fernie chairs, just as an example heading. And then I am going to click on this rectangle, and instead of giving it this off black fill, I'm going to detach that and give it an image fill instead. So we'll choose this one here, and that is looking awesome. Okay, this page is done. In the next lesson, we're going to be using all the techniques we've learned so far to create the product details page.